Melanie and I just got to Canada's smallest province. It's Prince Edward Island, and it's beautiful. So we started the day by getting on the water. Prince Edward Island is known for its incredible seafood. Lobsters, crab, mackerel, you name it, they got it. So we learned all about how they catch the lobster and how they catch the crab. And then we tried to catch the mackerel ourselves. Unfortunately, we didn't catch anything, but that's okay. It was still a great time out on the water, learning all about the fishing industry here in Prince Edward Island. So after a fishing adventure, it was time to check into Nature Space Resort and Retreat on the northeast coast of PEI. Let me show you around. So they've got these beautiful yurts. We're staying in the yurt that's called the Snow Hare. And each yurt has its own private little hot tub, which is amazing. And so inside we got this open roof, which is awesome. Obviously it closes for the rain if it does rain. Got a bed right there. Here we got a heater. An air conditioner as well. Got a little table that Melanie's writing in the guest book on. And here is a fireplace as well with some firewood. So they also have a sauna and a cold plunge tub, as well as a shared space that you can go cook your meals and shower and go to the washroom and all that kind of stuff. These yurts are pretty awesome. Check them out. So after checking in, we were feeling a little hungry. So there was really nothing else to do than to go on the hunt for our very first lobster roll with fries of the trip. PEI is famous for a few things. It's seafood, but it's also the famous PEI potatoes. So we had to get a lobster roll with fries because it's a classic East Coast dish and they do it so good here. Then we headed to the beach. PEI is also well known for its beautiful sandy beaches and sand dunes that surround the whole island. There's really no shortage of beautiful beaches, and a lot of them you'll just have to yourself, which is incredible. After our walk, we were driving back to the yurt and we realized the light was starting to look really good, so we made a detour to St. Peter's Harbor Lighthouse to catch the sunset, which was incredible. The next morning, we had a kayak tour booked with Jared, our host at Nature Space Resort. We checked out the local estuary behind the resort, and we learned all about the local flora and fauna. We saw some eagles, a ton of birds, and it was a really nice way to get out on the water and learn more about the nature here in Prince Edward Island. In the afternoon, we headed out to the town of Montague to check out some of the local breweries. We went to Bauxite Brewing, and then after that, we checked out the second brewery in town for dinner as well, which was Copper Bottom Brewing. Then it was time for sunset. So we headed to Greenwich Beach on the north coast of the island. It's part of Prince Edward Island National Park.
I'm going to Greenwich Beach. It's a bit cloudy. We're hoping for a good sunset, but hopefully it's still nice.
This park is beautiful. It has beautiful boardwalks that lead through the beautiful sand dunes all the way up to the beach. It looked super cloudy. We didn't think we were going to get any sunset, but look at that. So right as we were arriving to the beach, there was a little sliver of open sky under the clouds on the horizon, and the sun just peeked right through that before it set, and it made for a gorgeous sunset. Sunset rating?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? That's it? Look at that. That's more than 8 out of 10.
Fine, 8.5.
So today we're in the Cavendish area. We checked out Anne of Green Gables. I don't know if any of you have read the books about Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. I've never read them. Melanie did, so it's pretty cool for her to see where it's all inspired by. And Anne of Green Gables is obviously a fictional character, but the places are pretty real. There's places that inspired Ellen Montgomery to write this story are all here, and it's super cool to see those and see where she lived and where she came up with this, you know, pretty famous and iconic book series. Just walking back from our last sunset here on the coastline of PEI. We are near Cavendish, North Rustico, We just had dinner at the Blue Mussel Cafe in North Rustico, which was incredible. Some of the best seafood I've had in a very, very long time. Last full day on PEI. We stayed over in the Cavendish Maple Cottages, but we didn't really get to enjoy them that much because we just came in late after sunset, so we're getting out early here. But yeah, our last day here in PEI, we're going towards Charlottetown and we'll see what the city has to offer. It's a very, very small city. I think it's probably Canada's smallest provincial capital, but apparently it's super charming, so stick with us. All right, so one last little beach walk before we head to the city. So nice. We just got coffee in a church. That's pretty cool. So one thing you notice pretty quickly when you're driving around PEI is the red soil. There's so many fields with just red sand or red soil. And apparently it's from the high amount of iron oxide in these fields and in the ground here. And it's supposed to be really good for growing potatoes. So that's why PEI is so famous for its potatoes, I guess. So we're here at one of PEI's most famous landmarks, and I'm not talking about that lighthouse over there. I'm talking about the Confederation Bridge. At one point, it was the world's longest bridge over tidal waters. It's lost that title now, but I think it's still the world's longest bridge over water that actually freezes. And yes, the ocean does freeze here in the winter. I believe the bridge is about 12 or 13 kilometers long. I gotta double check and I'll put it on the screen right here, but it is long. Like, I can't see the end at all. Speaking about this lighthouse though, a fun fact is that PEI has the highest concentration of lighthouses, or is thought to have the highest concentration of lighthouses just about anywhere in the world. All right, it's the last night of our trip here in Charlottetown. It's PEI's capital. We waited till the last day to visit it. We landed here and we're leaving from here tomorrow. But yeah, it's PEI's capital, Charlottetown. I think it is the smallest provincial capital in Canada. I've got to double check those facts, but I think that's true. It's a super small little town, but it's super charming. There's like old houses everywhere. The main downtown is super small, but super charming and compact, which is super awesome. It just means everything's in walking distance. There's tons of like great restaurants and seafood. And so we went to Victoria Row, which is kind of their pedestrian street. In the middle of summer, they block it off for foot traffic only. Ton of restaurants out there, some live music in the evening, which is awesome. Had some cocktails, had some great seafood. And for dessert, we went to Cow's, which is PEI's local ice cream chain. They started here, they have about 6 locations here, but they've gone nationwide. There's a location in Banff and Whistler, and I think somewhere in Ontario as well. Super good. Best way to end a trip is with some ice cream, right?
Super good.
Only improves. So yeah, that was our trip in PEI. We weren't sure what to expect. It's a small island. We were only here for about 4 days, 3.5 days, so we weren't sure what we were going to be able to see or do within those 3.5 days, but it's actually awesome. It's the perfect place to come for a trip like that because everything's so close by. There's never a drive that lasts more than like half an hour or an hour to get to a cool spot. There's lighthouses everywhere, there's cool beaches everywhere. There's always an adventure close by, which is what makes this place really cool. And yeah, you're able to see so much in just such a short time.